Hello there, this is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Yeah. Use whatever game works best for you. Whatever game. And just real quick, I didn't do a car video yesterday. Family stuff, I'll leave it at that. You know, one of the things that you want to do is find the game that's best for you, and it just means the social strategy that you use to get women. And let me say something real quick. If you ain't trying to get women, stay off this channel. I got other channels. I'll leave it at that. But if you're trying to get women, and you got to find what's best for you. Now, reason I promote body game, because that's what worked for me. It's funny, I had this guy saying, no, it wasn't body game, it was your face. Once again, some dude on some sus stuff, No, this dude didn't know one single woman I've got with. Now, I know how much play I got because the women like my body. That's why I promoted it. That's the only reason why I promoted it. But see, that's wrong. And, when I talk, I'll promote general stuff, but mainly my philosophy. I've said several times, if my philosophy doesn't work for you, or body game doesn't work for you, whatever, find someone else. Because remember, this is an art, not a science, and everybody has something different, I had the body type that drew the attention of women. Still do, really. And for any detractor on that, you can't see my whole body. Or especially when I wear shorts and everything. Women have loved my legs. But see, that's me though. Somebody else might not have the body package. They might have to use something else. Another thing for me too was I couldn't be as aggressive. I kind of had to let the game come to me, right? But see, somebody else, they might have to be more aggressive. See, you got to see where you are, where you at. You got to see the environment you in, what women that you have in your environment, and then what they checking out on you. Like you get some guys, they want to say, oh, it's just face. Well, maybe some men have that type of face. But then some other men, they might have that muscular body, Some other men might have that just style to them. They might have that style. They might be like natty dressers or something like that. Some other men, they might have to be bald, bearded, and buffed. But some other man, he ain't going to be bald because he got hair. So he got to do something with his hair. He got to do something with his hair. You got to see what's up. Some men, they might actually be homely. So they got to have a serious mouthpiece. They might have to have the charisma of many men. It also depends on what the women like. Some women, they might like that beard. Some other women might like it clean shaven. It depends. It all depends. It depends on the group of women that you have to deal with. Whatever the case, you have to find what works for you. It's just like I always use the example of basketball. Everybody has a different shot. Some people, some dudes shot, some people shot, really, because you got the women out there too. Their shot might be like the inside game. Somebody else's shot might be like just running to the basket, breaking away on fast breaks or something. Some others could like pop that three-pointer all day. I remember there was a commercial, I think it was a Sprite commercial back in the day, and he talked about this dude named Lamar Mundane. His three-pointer was so thorough, people would say layup. But then I found out something else about Lamar Monday. He couldn't hit inside shots to save his life. So that was his shot. You know, it's like, may he rest in peace, Robin Harris said one time. He was in that movie Mo Better Blues, and he was making a joke about Larry Bird. He said somebody was talking trash about Larry Bird, saying all Larry Bird got is a 3-point shot. And Robin Harris was like, that's all he need. And see, that's the same thing with game. You got to find what works for you, not what works for somebody else. Now, I can tell you about body game, but that might not be your best game. You might not have that body that stands out. You know, it could be numerous factors in there, right? What you do is find, okay, what works for you to get women? Why are they looking at you? Some dudes, it might be like, you know, they might have like that super handsome face. Okay. But some other dudes might be real muscular. Some other dudes might be, you know, a really good dresser. You know, some other dudes might have that serious mouthpiece. They can chop it up with anybody. You know, some dudes might be homely. You know, can't dress well, but they just got charisma like crazy. Because what you always say, there's like 4 billion women. I think in some place I said 8 billion. Y'all know what I mean. Billions of women. You know, each one is going to respond differently. You got to find what works for you. Now, yeah, I can talk about body game, but that might not be your thing. But it was my thing. I talk about my philosophy. When I talk about what I talk about on here, of course, I'm going to talk about what I've seen work and what's worked for me mainly. But I'm talking about my philosophy. It's an art, not a science. It's not a science. If it was the same thing that could get every single woman, everybody would do that. There wouldn't be any problems. I'd be doing a car video on something else. Shoot, I might not even be in this business. You know, I might not have wrote the books that I did on relationships. If y'all knew me as an author, y'all would probably know me as somebody who wrote fiction. But I wrote what worked for me and the men that I've seen. But then most of the men that I've seen work out in the gym. So, yeah, the body game worked for them. But some other guy, you know, he might have that conversation. He might can chop it up with anybody. He might be that salesman type, you know. Another guy, you know, he might could dress like crazy. I knew this guy, this dude could dress, he could dress like crazy. I ain't sure how women thought of his looks, but that dude, even when he'd be hooked up, even when he be playing pickup basketball, everything be like looking good, right? Shoot. In fact, I know this guy I haven't talked to in a long time. Stan. Now that dude had a mouthpiece and he could dress. I'll put a link to Stan, a quick video I did with Stan in the description box. But that dude, he could chop it up with anybody. So he had that mouthpiece, and he was also thorough in how he spoke, no matter what. But he was thorough in how he spoke, you know, that mouthpiece, but in how he dressed, rather. That dude could dress like crazy, you know? No matter what. He could throw on, he could hook up that thing. But then you got some dudes, they can get some women, but they can't dress like, they might have that body or something. You know, the woman might have to buy them some clothes. They can't dress for anything. Now, I would throw out all of that. I throw out style and all of that. See, I try to see, you got to pick out which one works for you the best and then go with it. Like, if you decide, like, and I still say shoes. But then you might have the physicality to the point where a woman will just buy you the shoes. She'll buy you the shoes. She'll fix you up. And women will do that. They should. If a guy ain't like what they would want, or they want to add something, build-a-boo women. Hey, and that's some dudes' game too. They get those women looking for build-a-boos because you're also talking about the type of women that you're dealing with too. Damn, dude. You could wait. There's always somebody driving like they don't got good sense. Always somebody driving. It was like, dude, that wasn't necessary. This dude passed this truck, but we on one of those roads we ain't supposed to be passing. Anyway, right? Anyway, you got to find what works for you. What works for you, what type of women that you can get. Because you could be, you could be one of those dudes, you can get those like baddies, like serious baddies. But then you could also, that might be one dude. Another dude, he can get those women who are more nerdy. Then yet another dude can get those women who are more like classy built, classy, upper class or something. So you got even there, you got to see what's up. You got to see who you are, and then the type of women who come for you naturally, your tribe. But that starts with you. That starts with you and what you want to present. Because that's something I'm going to talk about on my Patreon tomorrow. Like a smart nerd. Like, let me use that for an example. A nerd can get his. A nerd can get his if he sticks with nerds. In fact, Cousin T Taw on his Patreon talked about an experience he had with a nerd. I'm going to put a link to my Patreon in the description box and Cousin T Taw's. He talks about it. But there's just different types. And in fact, talking about that nerd thing, I had seen some clips of Blurred Con on my IG. And it was a bunch of fat PHAT women there. PHAT. Pretty hot and tempting. But you got to see what's up. Because ultimately, your game got to be who you are as a person. Who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Like, I've mentioned a few times, there'd be some people trying to talk like me or trying to do like me. It's like, or walk like me or something. It's like, no, you're not me, though. You got to think where you at and everything. Like, you might be in the HODD hood. Just go with some hood dudes spelled it like that, and I was like, okay, all right. But anyway, you might be in the hood, so you might have to get tatted up a little to get some women. But then you might be in an upper middle class environment. You might have to be more clean cut. You might have to let your hair grow out in one environment. Let it be wild and everything. Have one of those nappy bushes or something. Another one, you might have to have it clean. You got to see. And it's like the environment or what you just want to do. What you want to do. That's an important thing. You might just want to just do whatever. But his game is just going to be different. You got to figure out what you can do, what works for you. Like I said, like that face thing. You get a lot of dudes say, oh, it's just a face. Well, yeah, it'll work for somebody who got an extremely handsome face. But what if you got an average face? Okay, you're going to have to use something else, right? What if you got, like, no matter what you do with body game, you one of those people, you ain't going to get any muscles on you or anything, right? You got to use something different. Or say you a big man. Say you a big man. Let me talk about that for a second. You a big man, right? What kind of game you going to use? Like the game, the big man, that the game he uses, it might have to be that, he's just going to like, he got to dress well because, his body ain't all that, but he can dress well, right? He can dress well and he got that mouthpiece. He know how to make a woman laugh or something. If it worked for him, that's his game. Yeah, he can lose some weight, but he can still get some, right? He can still get some. He's just right where he can get some. And then the type of woman that might show some interest in him, right? The type of woman that shows some interest in him might be that type of woman who's, one, she likes big men. One, she likes big men. Two, she's, if she don't really necessarily like him, she's at least open to him. And then his game might be so thorough. He might make her laugh. Or she's really in the style and he got some style. But like I said, no matter what, you got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. Now, I throw out a general philosophy. Like I said, body game worked for me. That took me to a new level. So that's why I promote it. Because I had other aspects of game. I had zero approach anxiety. Could dress well. Still got some play behind it, but not what I thought I could get. Because then when I hit body game, that took it to a new level. And the guys who really get into what I talk about, they can understand body game. They can understand that, right? So you got to think about that on so many levels, so many ways. You got to think about what's going to work for you, not somebody else. Now, you can still listen to what I'm promoting, and, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Still listen to what I'm promoting, but ask yourself, okay, does that work? And if it don't work, it ain't no big deal. And I've actually said that a few times. I've actually said that more than a few times. I said, if go out and try what I'm saying. And if it worked for you, okay, great. If it don't work for you, I have no problems if you check out somebody else. There's other guys talking about the game of man gets women, right? And let's just be real. Let me just say this. I said something earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. Dudes be wanting that. Don't come on here pretend like you don't want that. If you don't want that, don't come on here. But don't pretend like that. Men want women. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It means your damn dick works, okay? If you got problems with that shit, well, that's on you. But you just understand, when you getting a woman, you going for a woman. Go for what works for you. Go for what works for you. Figure it out. Like the easiest, unless you a virgin, they ain't got no play. And hold up, real quick. If you ain't getting no play, no women, don't come on here. I am not sympathetic. I got 4,000 videos. I'm telling you what to do. Don't come on here. I am not sympathetic. Watch the videos and do what I say first. All right? Don't come on here saying some shit. I am not sympathetic. I delete at best, block at worst. Seriously. Because that's what this channel is about. That's what this channel is about. You having problems and shit. And really, it's not even for guys who just having just problems just overall. It's really for guys just if you can get a woman ordinarily, but you want to make it better or get better women, that's what this channel is for. So, let's say you gotten a few. What did you do to get those women? What did you do? What were you wearing? Like, what were you wearing? How was your body? What did you say to them? Look back at that and use that as as um as a baseline. Just like when you playing basketball, you know, after a while you know what your shot is, but you know from playing. You get out there. What are you do you have a certain character? Are you wearing certain clothes that women show interest or women have shown interest? Like, base it on how much sex that you've gotten, how much play you've gotten, how much date. And then look at the women and say, oh, okay, I was wearing this, wearing these type of clothes. I was behaving this way. Okay, do it again. Seriously, if you can get one, you can get 100. It's very simple, you know. Also look at the women who was receptive to what you were saying. But ultimately, it just come down to your game. Your game. Anybody else's, your game. All right? So anyway, that's all I got for today. Develop your game. And seriously, if you're not getting anything out of body game or anything I'm saying, I don't have a problem with you going somewhere else. You might have to do that. You might have to do that. Whatever you have to do, I have no problem. I'm not going to hold you back because my main thing is body game and everything I talk about. If none of that's working for you, don't complain. Find somebody who got some stuff. Check out some other dudes, plenty of other dudes saying some stuff. Check them out, all right? So anyway, that's all I got for today. And get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.